And we are back again. This time we got two guests. We got Bryan
Two for one.
and we got we got two for one. And we got Mr. Kerr here. First off, welcome to the podcast. This is the FML Podcast. We're here at Influence Orbis. First, since we got two guests, I'd like you guys to introduce yourselves.
Yeah, sure.
Who wants to go first? Yeah.
My name is Bryan Brock. I'm in as a panelist today. So I got to speak about arts, culture, influence, and entrepreneurship. And I wear a lot of,
by the way.
Oh, thank you very much. I wear a lot of different hats. So I could be a creative director one day. I'm an entrepreneur and business owner. I also work with youth through the Remix Project, a charity not-for-profit in the city of Toronto, working with youth from all the top priority neighborhoods across the GTA. And yeah, I do design work, art direction, creative direction. So every single day is different. That's me in a
nutshell.
An elevator pitch. Yeah.
And John, from my old neighborhood, I just found out.
That's right. MTL. My name is Peter John. I'm here as a panelist as well for the Online Noise panel. Part of my background is mainly creative direction right now, developing content, creative. A lot of it stemming from TV, video, film, the entertainment industry, music. Like Bryan, I wear quite a lot of hats.
You guys work together, by the way?
We have crossed paths.
Unofficially,
a couple times. Yeah. So that's pretty much sums it up.
All right. Now, Bryan, when did you start One Love TO?
So me and my partner T-Rex, Tyrone Edwards, we started that back in 2007.
Okay.
When the city of Toronto wanted to do a 40th anniversary edition of Caravana. They wanted to introduce something a little different into the parade. And they came to actually the Remix Project at that time, where we were all working. And they wanted something like creative for the city to be infused with Caravana in like an authentic way.
So it started with T-shirts?
Started with T-shirts, yeah. Just creating that logo.
One.
Do you? Yeah. Amazing.
I still have one, man. One of the original ones.
That's amazing, yeah. So it just started with T-shirts for that cause. And literally from that one day on the parade route till 2009, 2 years later, all we did was sell T-shirts out of the backseat of our car, trunk, locker.
And it was the same T-shirt over and over for the 2 years, or you modified it a little bit?
We switched up colors and probably quality got a little bit better than in the beginning. But yeah, it was all just T-shirts, man. Like people, and you could only get it if you knew us,
That's right.
which was like kind of the crazy thing because there was no such thing as social media back then.
Yeah.
So if you wanted a tee, you either had to know me or Rex, or you had to know someone to know someone to know someone to get it.
Do you remember the price of the first tees?
Oh, they're probably like $15 or $20.
Okay.
Basic
Yeah, nothing
price.
crazy.
Yeah.
And for you, Peter, how did you start? I guess you could say entertainment.
Yeah, sure. I guess.
Marketing.
Originally, my goal was to be a documentary filmmaker.
Okay.
So when I came out of school, that's how long ago we know each
Yeah,
other.
yeah.
Is I would always be running around with a camera. Everything we did, I had a camera. And, I went to work for Global Television for a while.
Okay.
And it just happened to be right place, right time. Took a chance, and I ended up landing my own show. So I had a food show on Sun TV.
Okay.
So I had a show called Street Eats for a while. It was really great. Learned a lot. Had a blast. And just slowly kept building and climbing and networking. And, again, right time, right opportunity, being open to things. And, that's how things just continued.
How do you start off how do you feel like when you start off something that's not like for example yourself you were doing food on foodie show pretty much?
You could call it that, food and culture show.
Okay, so since I'm guessing you're not from the background of someone on TV unless you were, and I don't know about it.
I was more behind the scenes guy directing. I mean, I understood the mechanics on how to put a show together.
Okay.
I just never was an online or on camera personality. So the challenge from that perspective is I was hella shy.
Okay.
And so I had to get over that and learn how to share and shake hands with people in the public.
That's where I was getting to. How do you make that leap of faith for you and after for yourself getting into a specific thing that you don't necessarily know about?
Yeah, I would say, put in the work and do your research so you know what you're talking about.
Okay.
And with that confidence, you're able to deliver a message. And if you don't know, don't lie. Figure it out.
Now, Bryan, can you tell us about the brand progression over the years, where the brand has now reached?
In terms of One Love TO specifically?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so...
yourself also, as a brand.
Sure. So 2007 to 2009 was the T-shirts. 2009, we launched a blog. And at this point, it was still like a passion project. It wasn't a business. There was no business model, nothing like that. We were just doing it for the sake of doing it.
Okay.
2009, the blog launched, and we like the support was insane. It was kind of like when blogs just started to get big and people were reading them a lot. The support was insane. The traffic was crazy. And at that point, brands started to come to us and say, hey, we like what you're doing. How do we work together? And that catapulted us into another level, because to go from a passion project where you're putting in your own money or any of the T-shirt sales are going directly back into making more T-shirts, you're not making anything off of that. But the minute big brands realize, like, hey, we have a reach. We're talking the language that they want to talk, but they can't do it themselves. Here's some money. Go do it. So we started getting money from these big brands by running our blog. And we never had advertising. And to this day, there's no such thing as advertising. You've never seen a pop-up board. Yeah, it was it, right? So the movement was created by the people.
Organic.
The money came from the brands. And the funny thing is, we didn't start any of this to make money or anything for a business. It morphed into that.
Well, actually, it's great, because I also hear that you have another brand called Successfully Broke. So that kind of emphasis, it is what you did. You were broke and you became, well, I don't want to say broke, but you started from the bottom and you were successful at it. And now you're well, at some point you were successfully broke.
100%.
So tell us a bit about Successfully Broke.
Yeah, so the idea of that is kind of in two parts, but one is what you mentioned. The idea for me, success comes from that process you go through. So like the last 10 years that we've done One Love TO, there's been successes and failures. There's been incredible highlights and partnerships and collabs and places and people I've seen and met that I've never would have done otherwise in my life. So to me, that's where the success is. It's not about like at the end, how much money did I make? Or at the end, like how many people patted me on the back? What award did I get? Literally, it's all those checkpoints along the way. So I wanted to use Successfully Broke as a way to highlight and show people, guys and girls, you got to start paying attention to the steps you're taking and reward yourself and evaluate and keep like bigging yourself up along the way, because as entrepreneurs and creative people, we tend to put all this weight on our shoulders like we haven't made it yet. Or when do we hit? Like when's that big like lottery ticket, so to speak? When do we win? Man, we're winning every single day we're doing.
That's right.
So Successfully Broke is supposed to be that in a nutshell. But the reason why it came about is because I get hit up every single day. I want to pick your brain, or what do you think of this idea? Or, yo, I'm starting a brand, I need some advice. That's incredible and I appreciate it, but I'm one person and I have other things in my life going on, so I can't physically be there for every single person that hits me up. So I'm using Successfully Broke as a free educational tool. Like, it's not normal school, it's not even an alternative school, but if you read the captions, if you watch the IG lives, if you pay attention to the podcasts and the videos, you're getting a free education. And
so you have a podcast
experience
as well?
Just started, yeah.
All right. Well, actually, I'm glad that you're saying that, because that's why we're here. That's why we do the podcast, is to motivate people and show people that you could, if you put your mind to something, you could do it. And we're actually growing ourselves. That's why we come to events like this, to meet people that are already achieved some of that growth, so we could meet them and, add to what we got.
Congrats. So, that's huge. Yeah. You're already taking the steps.
That's right.
Now I have a question for both of you. How important as an influencer is it to share your keys to success?
Well, I mean, here's the thing, right? Like, it depends on what you consider an influencer. Personally, in modern day terms, I don't consider myself an influencer because of how people in society and how digital right now views influencers. I don't have tons of followers. I don't post a lot.
This guy's like me. Keep going.
Yeah, but the thing is when I do post, there's substance to it.
Okay.
I'd speak in person and I influence in other ways. So, being an influencer now, like Brock and I were just talking about it, I'm in a position where the things that I'm doing and the work that I'm doing, I should be sharing more. So how important is sharing your success? I think it's super important. And I don't do enough of it, which is something that I'm going to challenge myself to start doing. And I think that alone is important to share as well. Acknowledging the fact that I don't do it enough and I need to. A lot of times people post like they've already made it. They don't want to show the journey.
That's the thing is, well, just before you go, something that's crazy to me is that sometimes we're in a time where if you don't have a lot of confidence in yourself and you're looking at your IG stories and your IG, you can get really, really depressed. Yeah. Because it seems like everybody's doing it. Everybody's making it. Everybody's rich. So if you don't know, I mean, especially for younger kids, I feel like it's kind of a good thing because it motivates you, but also it's kind of like a big white lie that nobody wants to admit.
Well, the funny thing is I'm wearing the J's, the ones, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I break.
Nice shoes too, Brian. That's all.
Yeah, your shoes are sick. But the reason why I said that I'm wearing them is because I think about when Jordan first came into the league, and I was around, and I watched it.
Yeah.
I played in Jordans. They
Mhm.
weren't
Yeah.
like Breads back then. They were just J's.
Mhm.
And, watching him come into the league, he wasn't MJ. He wasn't be like Mike. He was just Michael
Mike.
Jordan.
Yeah.
Actually, it was Mike Jordan.
Right?
Yeah.
The thing is in watching his growth from his first year to his retirement, you appreciate him so much more. But what if we never got to see MJ play till his last year when he was the greatest?
Then it'd be a phenomenon. You wouldn't think about what he did to get
You wouldn't
there.
think about the
Right.
growth.
So-
You would think about
That's
the
right.
hustle,
So,
the
exactly.
ups and downs.
So if you look at this influencer and you look at this hustle and this entrepreneur model, we'll call it, that growth is, I think, how you actually build your audience and you build the confidence and you build your brand, right?
Mhm.
So I think it's extremely important to share.
Yeah, 100%. Couldn't agree more. I don't even need to say anything.
So what's the next step for each of you guys now? Now you're here, and, as influencers. What are the next projects that you guys are each working on?
That you can talk about.
Yeah, sure. I can't speak on everything that I'm doing, but today is an important step for me because I've been doing a lot of speaking gigs like over the last, let's say, 3 years.
Okay.
From small to medium, some large, but this was another personal challenge. So when I got the call and I got the invite to be a part of this, hands down, I was like, let me do this because this is going to be a group of people I don't know.
Exactly.
There's going to be another challenge
Like
for
us.
me to yeah, exactly. I just met you guys and now look, we're having a great conversation. If I didn't put myself in these positions to be awkward and uncomfortable and force myself to get better, I would stay in the same position.
That's
And
right.
I feel like I have a lot to share. I'm not the smartest or the best.
That's me right there in a
You got-
nutshell. Right
there you go. But
Well said, man.
you take all that into consideration, right? And you're like, man, I've got enough to share, and if I don't take the time to do it, someone's missing out.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have someone teaching me when I was younger. I didn't have a mentor.
Yeah.
I didn't have a community program like the Remix Project that could walk me through the steps of success from someone doing it in the industry. Like, that's crazy to me. So now I feel like it's almost a responsibility to be able to share what I know.
Okay.
And people kind of use it how they feel it works for them. They don't got to take everything I say and do that. But if I didn't do it, man, I'd be doing a disservice to myself and anyone that wants to learn.
Well, I'm very glad you guys showed up to
What about you? You don't have anything you?
Well, listening on what Brock said, I was watching a Vice documentary last night in Zimbabwe. One of the guys that's leading the movement that's happening over there.
What kind of movement? Rebellion movement?
I don't want to get political.
Okay.
Just we'll call it the movement that's happening.
Okay.
And however you want to decipher it. you
Okay.
can.
Okay.
But the thing is this one gentleman made this statement where he was saying to the camera, I'm not afraid about what's happening right now. What I'm afraid of is in 10, 15 years when my kid grows up and understands what's going on, and my kid looks at me and says,
"What
how
did
did
you do?"
let this happen? What did you do?
Mhm.
And he said, that's what I'm afraid of. And I think for me, that's what it is, what's inspiring me now.
Again, not like you said, not to get political or anything, but that's something I think about a lot, especially what's going on in the U.S. and with the NFL and with Kaepernick and whatnot. And whatever side you're on, if you're not willing to have a conversation later on, like your kids are gonna ask you at that period of time, what were you doing, or why didn't
That's
you
right.
why didn't you step up, or why didn't
That's
you
right.
give,
Why
whether
didn't you
good or
even
bad,
share?
or whether it's left or right, why didn't you share?
Why didn't you share?
Yeah.
Why didn't you share what's going on? The platform is here, and
Can't
we
blame
have
us.
All the tools.
We got a podcast talking about it every week.
Straight up.
That's dope, man.
Well,
Congratulations.
we want to thank you guys for taking a minute to be with us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
You guys are busy, so we're gonna let you guys go. So everybody, keep listening to the FML podcast.
And follow these guys, man.
Yeah,
You want to give your people the handles before you go?
Sure.
Give people your handles?
It's Peter John at by Peter John.
And I got at bryanbrock.ca. That's BRYANBROCK.ca. And Successfully Broke, both on Instagram.
Dope.
Great. Dope, man.
Thanks,
See
guys.
you guys soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Again, guys, man.
Thank you, man. Wicked. Keep doing your thing.